today, Phoebe, you can sit here. Mrs. Young's going to sit right here. So, do you know why Phoebe and Miss Young are sitting in desks?
They're talking each other.
Because they are girls, and girls are better than boys.
Why?
Because there was one day I saw a young boy, and he was going to cross the street really fast. And when he went out, there was a car that was coming, and he almost got hit by the car.
Why us?
And his mom said, "Stop! Get out of the street!" And the boy turned around, and the mom pulled him out of the way. So, I know that boys are not very smart.
No!
And boys make bad decisions.
Yeah.
And then, when the boy turned around, you know what he did? He yelled at his mom, "Mom, I can't believe you yelled at me. I don't like you." So I know boys are rude.
Why?
And they are mean. But girls, like the mom, she was very smart. And she made a good decision. And she was kind because she saved her son. So I know girls are better than boys.
Why?
Lucas, can you read this up here, Lucas?
I can't.
Why?
I can't see it.
So boys also don't have good eyes. Right? Phoebe, can you read this? Phoebe, what does that say?
I'll read it.
Girls are better than boys.
Oh, so Phoebe is a girl and she has very good eyesight.
No.
Right?
I am very bad.
And because I think girls are better than boys,
Why?
girls get to have the desks and boys, you get to sit over there.
No.
Because you guys, because I saw that boy this morning, he was mean.
Not us.
He
Not
made
us.
bad decisions, so you need to sit over there.
No, why me? I did nothing.
Because you're a boy.
Oh.
You're a boy, and I know all boys are mean, and they make bad decisions. Michael, yes? Trying to say something? No, boys don't get to talk. They will say mean things, and they will say wrong things, because girls are smarter than boys. Right?
Oh.
So, I know this because I'm a girl, and Phoebe is a girl, and Mrs. Young is a girl, and they're very
I'm
kind. You're going to be a girl? You're going to be a girl?
Yeah? So can I sit?
Okay, you guys come sit down. Now, boys,
Why all get boys?
how did that make you feel?
Good.
How did that make you
I
feel?
feel that girls are not kind to boys.
Did you feel girls are not kind to boys? Was it frustrating
No.
to you
No.
that I was just saying all these things about boys?
That's lying.
Well, because, so frustrating, maybe it makes you angry, like, oh, right? Yeah.
I know
Teacher, you're so...
I won't be frustrated because I know you're teaching me.
Oh, that's right. So, but can you help if you're a boy or a girl?
No.
You can't help that,
I
right?
don't want
This is just how God made you, boy or girl. But do you see, because of the story I was telling about the boy I saw, right? I saw a boy trying to cross the street really fast.
to. How a girl?
And then he was mean to his mom. So do you know the word assume? I made assumptions. Remember we talked the other day about what are boys and what are girls, right? And what are teenagers, right? And those are all assumptions. Those are all things we think about teenagers or boys and girls, but maybe they are not true. So I made assumptions about you boys, right? You are mean, and you make bad decisions,
You're not mean.
and you're not very smart, right? But that is an assumption, right, about boys that I was making. And is it a fair assumption?
Yeah, no.
No, because you are both very smart, and you are both very kind, and you are both generous and nice to people, right? So
Yeah.
it was not fair of me to take my experience with that one boy and put it onto you guys, was it? That is not fair, is it? So today, we're going to talk about, what is that word?
Prejudice.
Prejudice. Prejudice, okay? When I was saying all those bad things about the boys, I was being prejudiced against boys.
What do you mean?
So the Germans were being prejudiced against who? The Jews, right? And maybe other people that had a disability. Yeah, not Jews, but Jews, right? So they were being prejudiced against the Jews. They were saying what types of things about the Jews? What were they saying? We're going to do our 5-minute journal writing, okay? What are some ways people can prejudge someone, right? What does it mean to prejudge someone? Yes, Michael.
Like
Judge someone.
misjudge.
Okay, remember we talked about make assumptions, right? We would think, oh, we know all about that person because of the way they're dressed or the color of their skin, right? So the Nazis were prejudging the Jews, right? Just because they had brown eyes and maybe a longer nose or something, they would say, oh, you are Jewish and therefore you are not smart and not worthwhile and we will kill you, right? So they were prejudging the Jews based on what they look like or the religion they had, right? So what are some ways people can prejudge someone? That's your first question for your journal. Your second question is, have you ever felt like someone prejudged you? So someone showed that towards you. So just wait, you can think if you have any more thoughts, okay? Write them down and then talk about it together. So what's our first question? Phoebe, will you read this first question out for me, please? Good. So prejudge is what again?
Say something like you want something more than
Mm-hmm.
Not
you're good with.
like me and you, like we haven't met before, but like I think you are a bad person like that.
Good. Good. So we make assumptions, right? That's that big word again. We assume things about them. Usually based on what? What are the things, why do we make these assumptions?
If they say 18, then probably.
If they say, if somebody walked in and they had really dirty, yucky clothes on, what would you assume about them?
Happened.
But what would you assume about him?
Oh, he's a poor guy.
Maybe he's poor, right? And maybe that's true, maybe it's not. Maybe he was just outside fixing his house, so he put on gross clothes to work. We all make assumptions. We all assume things, right? I was assuming you boys were mean and rude and not smart because of my story, right? Now, I don't believe that. But do you see how my behavior showed my, what's that word? Assumptions. So the Nazis assumed the Jews were bad. So what did they do?
They killed him.
They killed them, right? So we all do actions based on our assumptions. We prejudge someone, right? I've heard a few times so far that some of you guys get angry at Japan.
Like when you play, sometimes like you play with like two persons that's like play
Yeah.
together in many ways.
Oh, right. So he saw that and prejudged you and thought, oh, that Michael is not very nice, right?
Yeah, when I
Right.
was 5th grade,
Uh-huh.
like, everyone should get detention. Everyone.
Why? Because they were
Except Cassidy, like, American and Chinese.
they were not
Korean.
behaving. Oh, I heard about this. I
Wait,
heard
what?
about it.
Having
You know what is something? In America, we have a lot of Chinese students who come to study university.
yeah.
And do you know what they often will study? What subject? Science and math. So when we moved to China, we thought, oh, Chinese people are all very good at English, are all very good at math and science. But is that true? No. Chinese people are not all good at math and science. But even Americans now, if you ask them, what are Chinese good at? They will say, oh, math and science. Right? So they are prejudging all Chinese people, right? And there are a lot of Chinese people, aren't there? So it's not fair to say, oh, Chinese are.
But Chinese
Yes.
math is
Not
easy.
Chinese.
But not all Chinese are good at math.
Chinese math is easy.
Chinese math is, but it's a what type of word? What is this?
Noun.
Yeah, it's a noun. Okay, and it's a what?
A negative feeling about the person before you know him or her based on one of his or her characteristics.
Characteristics. Good. So something about them. Phoebe, what are read these out for me? Nationality, like where they're from, right? Uh-huh. Right? So we kind of talked about that, didn't we? Different ways that we can judge people before we even know them, right? We have to be really careful. That's what gets us into trouble. That's what the Nazis were doing, and we don't want to do that. Lucas, will you read that, please? Can you read that? Prejudice.
Prejudice is a great time flavor. You can form opinion.
Read the last section at home. Did you do that?
Yeah.
Phoebe did it. Michael did it.
Yeah.
Did you do it? Okay. Pull it out.
At night.
Huh? At night? Last night? Pull it out.
I have my notes.
It's in
Good. I
the-
want to see your notes. Let me see your notes.
Oh, we need to do notes? Yeah.
Yeah.
He said we need to.
Underlining.
At least one note.
Yeah. Okay, we'll start there. Okay, so Germans on the run. What, based on what we know about our story, what do we think is happening now?
German is going away.
Right? So they're going away somehow. Okay, good. Okay, Lucas, will you read? Now remember, when it is in bold,
Bald eagle.
then in this story, what does it mean when it's in bold?
It's-
Alicia.
Alicia's saying it, right? This is what's called a first-hand account, right? Okay, you guys follow along. Since you've already read this at home, we're just going to follow along this time. Lucas, will you start with everyone, please, and read nice and loudly.
Everyone invited, about 200 that
Summarize, Michael, what's happening. What is Alicia talking about in this first-hand account?
Her mom was sobbing when she was asleep.
Okay, so what is sobbing? Yeah, well, she is, so that means she is crying, like, right?
I thought he wanted to eat.
Sobbing, so we know she's crying,
I
right?
thought he wanted to eat something else.
Sobbing, okay? Now, what about this word? Look at right before it says, my mother's silent, convulsive sobbing. Does anyone have a guess what convulsive means?
Silent. Dead silent.
So let's look back. Go back. Ready? The bed was actually shaking with my mother's silent, convulsive sobbing. So if we know the bed was what? Shaking, how do we think she was crying? Yeah, right? So this isn't like a little like, this is a like, right? She's doing this.
She's flying.
So that so much that the bed is moving, right? So convulsive, when we say convulsive, that usually means like there's a lot of movement, okay? So we know she's crying a
You
lot,
want to eat something?
all right? Okay, but a lot of times bombs, they just put a lot of stuff in it and it explodes. Yeah. I want us to go over a few of these words from the rest of our story, and then tomorrow we're going to play our game with them. Okay, tomorrow we'll have our game and there will be a prize for the person who wins.
I don't want slice.
You don't want a prize? Give it to me!
Actually,
Okay.
it will be candy.
Alright, ready? Alright, so let's do this. Fortunate. What is fortunate? Yeah, lucky, right? Remember?
Yeah,
Alicia was fortunate that she didn't go to the death camp, but she went to the, you remember the name of that? It's another one of our words.
Sleep, camp.
She
very
didn't.
conceited.
No, she didn't. She didn't go to the
Oh
that
man.
camp. She was, hey, Midel, where did she go? Do you remember that word? The ghetto. This today. This is an old video. Okay, back from like the 1960s in America.
Oh my.
Who knows in America in the 1960s? Does anyone know